can dye 3 different yarn bases with the exact same amount of dye, and then the hue of the colors in the end can feel different depending on the colors that you started with on your original yarn base. I dyed 3 very similar yarn bases a neon green, and each one had the same amount of dye. But the original yarn bases, which are all mostly Superwash merino, one of them had a little bit more of a gray tinge, one was a little more yellow, and one was closer to an off-white. And so then when we go and we look at our finished yarn here, the greens we see vary from a very bright green that is almost glowing without even bringing over a black light to a more apple green color that really doesn't feel as neon. Now, these differences in hue from using the exact same colors are more apparent when you're doing a brighter color or a lighter color, and doesn't make as much of a difference when you're going for something really saturated. But it is worth considering because realistically, you can't achieve this bright green on one of the bases with multi-neps because that base color already has some saturation in it, and so I don't think we could get there by doing a different mix of colors. But anyway, I just thought that this is worth pointing out because sometimes you may have a recipe and you translate it to another yarn base and the colors might feel off. And it could be not your dyes that you're mixing because you may have done your recipe correctly, but it could be the yarn base. And so that's something to consider. And if you're translating a recipe, it's worth doing a smaller test before you scale something up, especially if you're going for a very specific color.